That's right. It's finally here. All of you have been asking for this, so welcome to my review of Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar. This has been a long time coming, hasn't it? I mean, just getting my hands on a copy of this was enough of a bitch to begin with, but I finally have it, so let's check it out. Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar was released for the DS in Japan in 2008. It was released in North America in 2010, and apparently it's a well-hidden game because I didn't even know about it until I skipped over it to review Tale of Two Towns. Speaking of, there are going to be a few comparisons here and there, because it's clear that a lot of elements from that game got their starts here. The story begins with you moving to Zephyr Town to become a farmer. Man, isn't this how every Harvest Moon game starts? So you pick your gender, name, and birthday. And I'm not even gonna start on the 6-letter spaces for the name. At this point, I'm just assuming that it's a series staple. The mayor, Felix, says that Zephyr Town is home to a bazaar where you can sell and buy things, but we'll get to that a bit later. So here we are. Wait a second, what's that sound?
Hey! Yeah!
There's voices? I mean, there's no spoken dialogue, but every character makes certain sounds. That's different. I can't really say this was a great decision, as your character makes random noises and it gets a bit annoying, but it's an interesting addition to say the least. Anyway, let's get to the controls. D-pad moves, L button switches between running and walking, R button selects an item to equip, X opens your bag, Y puts items away, A jumps, and the B button does everything else. It picks things up, uses items, and talks to people. And it's awkward. I can't help but feel that it should be the A button that does all that. And I get it, in platformers, A would be the proper jump button, but this isn't a platformer and it just doesn't feel right. Speaking of the jump, here's something that was downgraded in Tale of Two Towns. Double jump. Damn, look how high you can go. Granted, there's absolutely no point to it at all, but being able to jump over a river is pretty fun. So I bet you're all wondering what sets this game apart from the other DS Harvest Moons. Well, let's start with the farming. It's still just using your hoe to till spots for your crops, but you're no longer forced to use a 3x3 grid for them. Every seed pack is one crop, so you can plant your crops wherever you want in your field. The farming surprised me because it moved away from the farming style of the previous game, but it's not quite as simple as Tale of Two Towns. But never fear, because you can still walk through plants. What? If you run through the plants, you damage them? Oh god, it's like running wearing down the grass in Animal Crossing New Leaf, but way worse. This isn't what I wanted. How dare you force me to be patient and cautious in one of the slowest games ever. Let's move on. Animal raising is about the same as it's always been. Feed them, sell their products, and name them after Vocaloids because I'm gonna keep doing that forever. Oh, there's also this board on your farm that you can draw stuff on, but I don't see the point of it. Things like this can encourage creativity to make your farm more unique, but at the same time, you know there's always going to be people who just draw dicks and pot leaves on them. But it could be appropriate depending on what kind of farm you have. Hey, nobody said growing weed was against the rules. Look, there's some right there. Oh wait, that's... Just do me a favor and don't tell anyone about this, okay? Alright, enough of the farming for now. It's only half the game after all. What about the people? What about love? Okay, so the art style and the characters has gone a bit more chibi. I'm not really a fan of this, but it could be worse. I guess I should talk about your romance options. For the boys, there are 5 bachelorettes. They're Sherry, Freya, Daisy, Emiko, and Antoinette. Wait, that's not right. There we go. I can't say much for them because I'm not exactly their type. So let's move on to the 5 bachelors, because, you know, dating cartoon guys is kind of my specialty. I'd like to thank Pactasis for the years of practice. There's Lloyd, Ivan, Angelo, Dirk, and Amir, and some of them are wearing silly looking hats, so we might be in business. Wait, is that one wearing glasses? Lloyd it is.
Bitch, you gonna be mine.
Alright, enough beating around the bush, let's get to the biggest change, the bazaar. Everything you do in this game will be based around the bazaar. See, there's no shipping bin in this game. You sell all your crops as well as things you find at the bazaar. I found this made the game a bit more challenging. Instead of having money coming in every day, you have to sell as much as you can on one day each week. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's how it works. You have a stand at the Bazaar. The Bazaar is open one day a week on Saturday or Sunday from 10 to 7. Before it starts, Felix will announce a sales goal he wants you to meet. Apparently, he has high hopes for the Bazaar now that there's a farmer selling things there. He wants it to become the best bazaar of all time ever. But no pressure. You place items on your stand and sell them. But you don't just sell them. You have to ring a bell to attract customers to your stand. And I don't know about you, but I would probably be less likely to shop at a place constantly ringing a bell, but apparently these people seem to like it. You sell the items to the people that come up, but you have to hurry so they don't get mad. I found this made the game a bit more involving. I mean, there's not really much to just throwing your items into a bin and getting the money the next day. The Bazaar added a level of challenge that the other games didn't have, but in a unique way. Not only is this the only time to sell your crops, it's also the only time to buy new items. Yes, there is a shop in town, but it only sells the same basic items every day. At the Bazaar, you can leave your stand to visit others to buy animals, different seeds, and farm upgrades. And looking around, I noticed that this is where that items laid out on the counter instead of a list thing began. So you're telling me that they decided to use this shit store system twice? Ugh. Anyway, selling items is all well and good, but how's your reputation? Sometimes people will walk up not to buy something, but to talk to you. Depending on how you answer, your reputation will go up or down. This is just annoying, because most of the time it seems like it's just people trying to scam the fuck out of you. They'll be like, hey, can I have this thing for free? By the way, if you say no like any normal person would, I'll damage your reputation by telling everyone you're an asshole. God, it's like those people who threaten to give a restaurant a bad review if they don't get a discount. And fuck those guys. But I'm getting off track. Like I said, the Bazaar is the main challenge, and it's obvious how this affects the rest of the game. Like having a barn for your animals from the beginning of the game instead of having to buy one. And instead of having to buy a maker shed for making cheese and other things, there are windmills? Yeah, you have 3 windmills that get unlocked over time. You can use them to make seeds, food, and tools. Only downside is it takes forever to make anything, but you can speed it up by blowing into the microphone to spin the windmill faster. Things like this make the game easier, but the Bazaar brings challenge and fun. And I know some of you are thinking I'm a hypocrite because I hated the weekly cooking contests in Tale of Two Towns, but I like the weekly Bazaar. Well, it's not the same thing. There's involvement here, not just watching a shitty cutscene every week. The Bazaar is exciting, and it's something to look forward to. You know what? I'm being too nice to this game. Where's the Harvest Goddess? She deserves another rant, I'm sure. Wait, what? She's not in the game? And no harvest sprites either? Bless this game. And yes, you could say that Felix is her replacement as he sets up the main goal for you, but at least he does something. My theory is he's here because the Harvest Goddess was too lazy to show up. Well, whatever, let's just be glad she's not here. So, I enjoyed this game. No, not just because the Harvest Goddess isn't in it. It puts an interesting twist on the usual Harvest Moon gameplay. Although it has its fair share of downgrades, it has enough good changes to make it a great improvement on the previous game. I like this game. I'm actually kind of sad I didn't get to play it sooner because it really is a great addition to the Harvest Moon series. The Bazaar made the game way more challenging and involving. It gives you a goal to reach for every week, and it's fun working towards it. This game may be tough to track down, but it's worth the search. If you can find a copy, give it a try. So now that I've looked at just about every mainstream Harvest Moon game for the DS, some of you might be wondering which game ended up being my favorite. Well, I've also played the 3DS Harvest Moon games, and one of those could be my favorite. I'm not sure. How about this? I'll think about it and come back next time with my top 5 favorite Harvest Moon games. So if you want to see that, subscribe, and that video will be posted soon. I promise. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Fred, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm trying to make marijuana jokes. I'm gonna kill your family.